Everybody, welcome back. Continuing this from the first chapter of Africa History, Section 2, Narratives of Western Diplomats and Missionaries. Fair warning, this chapter is a little bit emotional for me, and as I read it, you will probably understand why. And I do apologize for taking a little bit longer to pronounce some words because some of them are hard to pronounce. And also, I will read footnote 46, and as I read it, you'll understand why as well too. So let's go ahead and get started. And here we go. Besides indigenous witnesses, there were also foreigners in Bangkok at the time of the conflict. The reports were necessarily shaped by the professional and ideological, generally European frameworks, which had the merit of being more consistent and detailed than those of some indigenous observers. The French Archbishop Bruguiere, spelled Bruguiere, resident in Bangkok, was an eyewitness to events in the Thai capital. In a letter dated April 1, 1829, addressed to the mission interlagers in Paris, he reported the arrival of the captured Lao king, Chao Anou, and his entourage in Bangkok on January 15, 1829. Bruguiere provided details about the treatment of the prisoners received, including the torture of Chao Anou and his death 7 or 8 days after his arrival. Bangkok officials executed Chao Anou, descendant of a 2,000-year-old royal lineage, footnote 41, as though he were a common criminal. More than 2 months later, the public confinement of his relatives and collaborators in iron cages continued, exposing them to insults hurled by the populace, footnote 42. Anou's death occurred during the year of the ox, chulasakkarat, 1191, Chulasakkarat, which corresponded to the night of January 25, 26, 1829. At the time of his death, Chao Anou had reached the age of 61. Khamphon, Lent season, the Lao counting of years. Footnote 43. A journalist from the Singapore Chronicle, J. H. Moor, observed that he found Chao Anou a mild, respectable-looking old gray-headed man. Footnote 44. Alongside this report, we read accounts of the torture suffered by the gray-headed king. For example, another foreigner, F. A. Neal, wrote that Chao Anou had his eyes put out by the application of searing irons. Without food, with no protection from the fierce sultry heat at the noontide sun, with his brain racking and burning, and suffering from the acutest agonies that thirst can impart. Footnote 45. The missionaries Jacob Hamlin and Carl Friedrich August Geslach provided further details. The horrible barbarities practiced in their iniquitous war with the Laos, the treatment of the king and his family, who were betrayed into their hands, afford a melancholy exhibition of their ferocity. The situation is thus described by Mr. Tumlin, who was residing as a missionary at Bangkok when they were brought in. The king of Laos and his family, when taken prisoners, were brought here in chains, and exposed to public view for a fortnight in a great large iron cage. The news of their arrival caused great joy. The clan, P-H-R-A-H, first word, second word, K-L-A-N-G, and other high personages were long busied in devising the best mode of torturing and putting them to death. Close by are the various instruments of torture in terrific array. A large iron boiler for heating oil, to be poured on the body of the king after being cut and mangled with knives. On the right of the cage, a large gallows is erected, having a chain suspended from the top beam, with a large hook at the end of it. The king, after being tortured, will be hung upon this hook. In the front there is a long row of triangular gibbets, formed by 3 poles, joined at the top, and extended at the bottom. A spear rises up from the joining of the poles a foot or more above them. The king's 2 principal wives are to be fixed on these as upon a seat. On the right of the cage is a wooden mortar and pedestal to pound the king's children in. 9 of his sons and grandsons were in the iron cage, most of them grown up, but 2 were mere children. Such are the means these unsophisticated children of nature employ to maintain their superiority over one another. Such the engines of power despotism employs to secure its prerogatives, and such the worse than fetish cruelty of man towards his fellow man. Then left to be unsoftened dictates of his own deprived heart. Shortly afterwards, the old Lao king expired, and thus escaped the hands of his tormentors. He is said to have gradually pined away, and died broken-hearted. I think I'll stop here and then I'll continue because I'm running out of time. And then after that, there'll be footnote 46. Okay.